Okay guys, today we are going to find the equation of a circle by completing the square. So we're going to be using our ideas of factoring in order to do this. This is called completing the square. So from before, when you have the equation of a circle, you need to have the center and the radius, or be able to tell what that is given the equation. When it's something like this, x squared minus 4, that I have no idea where the center is. I have no idea what the radius is. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of manipulating to get to where I want to go. Okay. There's a process here that involves some factoring. Step one over here is get the x's and y's alone on one side. Okay, so for this one, you do a minus 8. Minus 8 on both sides. So it's nothing but x's and y's. I'd have x squared with x, y squared with y. All right, and if you see here, they're going to leave some gaps because we're actually going to add in something so that we are able to factor it, and it works like this every time. Okay, so step two is take half the middle value and square it. So what you're doing is you're going to take this middle value, so negative 4. So you're going to take half of it, negative 4 divided by 2, and square it. Okay, which equals 4. So that would then go into the box right there. You're going to do the same thing with the y term. You're going to take this middle term right here. You're going to take negative 6 divided by 2 and square it. Now this should always be positive, so make sure you put this in your calculator as the in parentheses if you're going to do that. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 squared is 9. That's where that 9 goes through. Okay. Then also, since those numbers did not exist originally in there, you have to balance it to the other side. So if you add in a 4 there, if you add in a 4 here, you also have to add in the 4 to the other side as well. That's where that box comes from. Right? If you add in a 9 here, you have to add in a 9 to the other side. And then what they're doing here is they're factoring. So if I take this trinomial, if I were to factor it, I would have a 4 on the top, a negative 4 on the bottom. Okay, two numbers that multiply to 4 go to negative 4 would be negative 2 and negative 2. So this would be the same as x minus 2 times x minus 2, or since it's two things being multiplied twice, x minus 2 squared. All right. For the red ones, so if I have y, so if I have that part, I'd have the 9 on the top, negative 6. Okay, the only thing is I multiply negative 3 and negative 3. So I'd have y minus 3 times y minus 3, or y minus 3 squared, because there's two of them. This happens every time. Okay, cannot emphasize this enough. The new number that you get, okay, is, well, it's half the middle, or it's you take the square root. Okay, the square root of 4 is 2. Negative 2. Square root of 9 is 3, and you keep this sign. So really, you're taking half. To find this will always be half of that middle value down here. Half of negative 6 is negative 3. Or you take the square root. Square root of 4 is 2. Square root of 9 is 3. And then you evaluate on this other side. Now my center is at 2, 3, and my radius is equal to the square root of 5, whatever that is. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to do the next two from our paper. All right, so on number 1 here, first thing, I'm going to look back up here, get x's and y's alone on the left side. So I've got x's, x squared, y squared. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get everything on the left side but my number. So I'm going to do x's first. I'm going to have x squared. I'm going to move this negative 12x over. So I have a plus 12x. Then I'm going to add something in. Okay. Then I'm going to have plus y squared minus 2y, because I'm bringing that to y, plus something equals 27. So on the left side here, I should have nothing but x's and y's. Go look up, take half the middle value and square it. Okay, half of 12, so I do 12 divided by 2 and square it, which is 6, which is 36. What I do to the left, I must always do to the right. If I add 36 here, I need to add 36 to the other side. Okay, this guy, for the next one, I add negative 2 over 2, square it, okay, take half of that and square it, which is equal to 1. Half of 2 is 1, 1 squared, 1, so I'll add 1 to the other side. Okay, the last step is I'm going to factor these. Now, if you want to factor them every time, you can, but there's a shortcut. X, I'm going to take this sign plus, and then the square root of this number. Square root of 36 is 6. Y, I'm going to take this sign minus square root of 1 is 1 squared equals 27 plus 36, which would be 63, and then 64. Okay, from here I can get my center. My center would be negative 6, positive 1, and my radius would be the square root of 64, which is 8. Okay, for the second one over here, I know I kind of ran out of space. All right, I'm still going to have my x's and my y's on the left side, or that, yeah, x squared minus 10x plus something plus y squared plus 6y plus something equals, I'm going to bring this 2 over, 2. Okay, then I'm going to take half of the middle value, which is negative 10, half of that, square it, which is 25. What I do to the left side, I also need to do to the right. So if I add 25 here, I need to add 25 over here. And you can pause these at any time. Here I can take 6 divided by 2 and square it, which would be 9. Add 9 on the right side. Final answer, bring down the x, bring down the sign. Square root of 25 is 5, plus y plus 3 squared equals 2736. So that my center is 5, negative 3. My radius is 6. Okay, that should be able to get you through the first part then on completing the square. I do expect you to finish those, and I will then post the answers to that online as well.